So the first try was a first stop. And again, same problems. The person at the one-stop center would send these business owners all around the horn for them to come up with frustration. When the county legislature first was asked to vote on the first stop, I said no. And there's a wonderful picture of Ann Petras and I face-to-face having a talk about that on this floor. Once the idea of a one-stop came to us, I was fully in favor. And that's what we have here today. That's what we continue to need. The other thing that William Fulton said is that we continue to have a robust economic system with businesses that serve businesses, such that when you plant a seed here with a business, you have the support you need to have it grow and grow and grow. Now, part of the thing we want to do as economic developers, and I'm asking you to have that be your mindset this evening, is to grow businesses so that they get so successful that they get bought out and that we're growing more businesses. But we have accountants, lawyers, people who do marketing, graphic designers. That's all part of our county business to business environment. We have a great place to grow business. So Bill Fulton said, okay, you've got that and you've got slow, steady growth. We've not experienced a boom bust in this county in 100 years. It was when International Harvester went out that we had the last significant bust here. Yeah, we don't have booms, but we don't have busts. We have slow, steady growth. What other points that I want to make? Oh, together with that slow, steady growth, we need people who are building relationships and keeping those relationships and connections happening over time. They need to know that they can continue to do their jobs. That in 3 years, the business can know that they can pick up the phone or go into the office and see the same person that they saw the last time, or be introduced to the same set of understandings about what we have to offer here. So it means a steady investment in economic development. And I just talked about, over last year, 20 to 21, sales tax was up $10 billion. The amount that our taxpayers fund this organization is not even pennies on the dollar. It's fractions of cents on the dollar in terms of what gets returned to this community and all of us as taxpayers. The other thing Bill Fulton reminded all of us at that meeting is that this manufacturing sector is greatly supported by what did I hear on ARMA the other day about the number of farmers that support Cayuga milk ingredients. So the inputs that come into this 13021 zip code are not just in this zip code. They come from all over the county. The soybeans that are exported out of Oswego come from all over the county because of the work that Dumont does. I'm not sure if we grow any ingredients that go into our breweries, but this is all part of our manufacturing base. And it's countywide and it needs county support. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Up next, Mr. Shattuck.
Hello, Mayor. Just so you know, we try to keep these 3 to 5 minutes.
You know, I heard that impassioned speech and I practiced one at home it starts at 3 to 5 minutes and goes on. And those who've been near me, Jim, you've heard it. I go on and on and on and sometimes on.
I'll try you a little bit off today.
So I wrote a very short one without passion, without a lot of details, but also in support of CETA. So As a background, I have 17 plus years as an elected official and 20 plus years in economic development in Tompkins County. So let me start to talk about the good things that the county has done. I know they've done one good thing or are thinking about one good thing, and that's separating the chamber from CETA. You need to have an economic development force that's there. CETA is the only economic development force that you have in this county. There's no going back downstairs to planning. There is Steve Lynch and a bunch of land planners in that office. And it would be costly to do that. In Union Springs, whenever we want to have a business come in, or whenever someone approaches me, I call CETA. They can deal with the largest manufacturers that come through this county, and they can deal with the mom and pops, the person who wants to sell jewelry online. That's how they work. Over the years, I've talked with a lot of other villages, and they get the same input. If they want something, if they know how to contact, as she had said, the same agency over and over, that's where you get the input back that feeds to you. Sometimes we don't even know what CETA's role is in business. I'm guessing a lot of you really don't know what CETA does. You probably haven't reached out to one of the people at CETA just to say, what does your business do and how does it work? Well, I'm also on the CCDC board, the Cayuga County Development Corporation. We loan money at very good rates. And all of those businesses are vetted through CETA. So they come to us already. We know what the financials are ahead of time. We can go back with questions and stuff. Not everyone gets funded, but most of them do. And then it's a great way for us to be able to take county money and put it back into county businesses. Because I'm always proactive and not very reactive, I would suggest this. Support CETA financially. Support the new executive director, Mike Miller, and his staff. Prepare yourself for changes in technology as our high school and college are doing. Support infrastructure, energy, transportation, water and sewer capacity. And then last, take $1 million. Take it out of your fund balance. You have a lot of money in fund balance. Set it aside. You don't have to give it to CETA right away. Set it aside. The workers and businesses in this county will benefit from your proactivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Elaine?
Up next, I have Doug Young.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Doug Young from Spruce Haven Farm. I've been here a few times, I think. I was the original ag representative on the CETA when it was first organized and found it to be very effective. Getting all the key people from the various organizations together, very, very useful. Back in those days, we were dreaming about Cayuga milk ingredients, and now it's here. And they continue to provide service and coordination and resource gathering as it goes through its next phase. Our farm also benefited. We did a renewable natural gas project, and the ribbon cutting was October. So now we have renewable natural gas coming to Auburn from dairy farm. So a lot of cool things going on. So go ahead and take a bunch of your time. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug.
Up next, I have Mike Miller.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be reading to you some written testimonials from businesses we've assisted throughout the county here. First one here is from Mr. Kelly O'Hara, Cayuga Milk Ingredients Board of Managers with an ownership interest, as well as owner operator of O'Hara Farms in Oakwood Dairy LLC. CETA assisted CMI during its greenfield build out with applying for and receiving benefits from numerous regional and state agencies such as Empire State Development. CMI currently employs over 90 employees. CETA staff worked to bring in a business neighboring CMI, which would utilize a CMI byproduct while creating additional jobs. CETA staff continues to interact with and guide CMI management. They navigate program availability for our planned $150 million expansion, forecasted to create over 70 new full-time jobs. CETA staff are continually seeking out ways to create alignment amongst different industries in order to both attract new businesses while supporting existing companies. CETA helps CMI explore an opportunity with a business which could potentially utilize CMI's wastewater stream in its operations, an attractive win-win should it prove viable. Further, they have promoted Cayuga County as a great place to operate businesses while highlighting the great quality of life our home offers. Promotional videos, advertising, and print media have always been high quality. CETA's work is far from done as opportunities exist to strengthen the county's readiness to capture new business investments and locate them here. Without CETA's efforts, promoting Cayuga County as a great place to do business, helping developing businesses get started, assisting existing businesses with their challenges, Cayuga County will be at a huge competitive disadvantage to its neighboring communities. CETA's funding should be viewed as an investment in our community, its families, and our futures. This next one is from Sue Ettinger, the Chief Operating Officer of the Inns of Aurora. Dear legislators, having served as the COO for the Inns of Aurora located in Aurora for the past 20 years, I have turned to CETA countless times to help advance our development agenda and build our company. CETA has helped us secure several New York State grants as well as pilot agreements that encourage our owner, Pleasant Rowland, to invest more than $98 million into the renovation of over 28 historic buildings in Aurora. Navigating the state's economic development system and the IDA processes is not easy. CETA successfully walked us through a number of applications. Without this financial participation from the state and the county, it's unlikely Ms. Rowland would have continued to invest in Aurora and Cayuga County. In addition to helping us secure financial support, CETA serves as an advocate to help us resolve infrastructural issues such as broadband and water, as well as deal with problems such as truck traffic. We are a mid-sized company that does not have the resources to effectively address these conditions on our own. The Inns employs over 305 people, pays over $2 million to the county, village, and school taxes, and contributes over $150,000 annually to local charities, and has earned numerous accolades throughout the state. Our ability to contribute to this county has been aided greatly by CETA. I strongly encourage you to continue funding for this vital resource. This next one here is from Mr. John Courier, President of Courier Plastics. Our company is located on Columbus Street in Auburn and are in the process of renovating a facility in the town of Aurelius. We currently employ over 250 people. I sat on the CETA board for 5 to 6 years and recently rejoined as the CNY regional council member. In economic development, as in business, connections are important. I'm an old guy, so I go back to the days when both the city of Auburn and Cayuga County provided economic services independently. This was not an effective or efficient model. Fortunately, my company has been successful enough to consistently receive calls from economic professionals in other states offering assistance to relocate our current operations or to assist with new expansions. We have no plans to relocate nor expand outside of the state, but we have entertained offers. I can tell you that economic development is a very competitive environment. The best areas have provided one-stop solutions that would simplify and streamline a project while maintaining confidentiality. This model works if your intention is to attract and develop business. This is why CETA was created, to be the one-stop shop for Auburn and Cayuga County. This model keeps us competitive. In each of our major expansions, we have asked and received help from CETA. We provided assistance in understanding, navigating, and applying for the New York State financial incentives that are now a fixture in economic development everywhere. With CNY's recent success in attracting Micron, the opportunities may expand for all of Central New York. It's all competition for region-specific projects. We risk being left behind. To remain relevant in further development of Cayuga County, we should increase its investment to CETA to maximize our efforts in economic development and to ensure a consistent professional seat at the table. This next one here is from John Patterson, President of the Cayuga County Farm Bureau. On behalf of the 308 members of the Cayuga County Farm Bureau, I'm writing to you to support funding for the Cayuga Economic Development Agency. CEDA has been instrumental in working with local farmers to host 2 processing businesses at the Cayuga County Industrial Park, at the Cayuga Milk Ingredients and Dankovic Rover Nutrition. Both are integral to allowing Cayuga County farmers to market their products worldwide. Additionally, staff from CEDA have been a resource for our members for several years. At our Cayuga County Farm Bureau annual meeting, 2 staff members from CEDA served as our keynote speakers. They outlined the importance of agriculture to the county and shared with our members the resources they offer. We have seen several businesses leaving the state, including food processors. CEDA plays an important role in seeking out businesses to come to Cayuga County to provide jobs and complement the existing resources in our county. We believe that this is important to maintain a valuable organization, the current or increased funding from this county. Thank you. One last one here. I'm okay with time.
Good.
This is Jim Hotelling, the town of Brutus supervisor. Dear County Legislature, I am retired from the Cayuga County Soil and Water Conservation Department, 42 years having worked for the Water and Conservation Department. During those 42 years, I learned that we need to invest in our natural resources to provide opportunities for the future of Cayuga County. I learned that the small investments that we made many years ago have paid big dividends down the road, such as the Wasco Lake, the drinking water for the city of Auburn, and some of the surrounding towns such as Senate, Brutus, Drupe, Montezuma, Mentz, and all of these townships that receive their drinking water from Wasco Lake. We need to use the same concept for economic development in our townships, villages, the city of Auburn, and our entire county as a whole. I am presently serving my 13th year as town of Brutus supervisor. One of the challenging things as town supervisor is to provide various services to businesses, people, and to encourage economic growth in our community. I have personally relied heavily on CEDA. Through my many years working with this organization, we have reached out to various businesses, trying to encourage them to start a business in our own town or to expand an existing business, providing other services that were not being provided previously. An example of this is Page Trucking. With an investment of just over $8 million, they offer new services and other opportunities other than just transporting goods. I've relied on CEDA to provide additional services beyond what I could do in my capacity as town supervisor. In fact, we have budgeted a part-time person to work with CEDA to help bring new business to our township of Brutus. I have always had a good and positive working relationship with CEDA. As we have learned that Micron will be coming to the Clay area, which is a 20-minute drive from our township, I believe there will be many various opportunities to partner with new businesses coming to our area due to Micron. We will be very much in need of the services that CEDA provides to assist the town in Cayuga County in bringing these new businesses to our area. Thruway Exit 40 is a key to the growth of my township in Cayuga County. Your support of CEDA ensures our ability to continue working to benefit our community, both now and in the future.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And just so everybody knows, the reason Mike was allowed to talk so long, because he was representing 5 or 6 other people. If they were here, they would have the opportunity to speak 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you, Mike. Thank you all for presenting. Appreciate it. Aileen, anybody else?
Yes. Oh, one more.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a chance I can speak?
Um,
I'm not on the
Who
list.
wants to go first?
You just have to wait a minute, okay?
I'll finish up the CEDA testimony myself. I'm Maureen Reister. I'm the Economic Development Specialist for CEDA. I started working with CEDA in May of 2014 as the Small Business Development Specialist, and later moved on to the larger projects of business retention, expansion, and attraction. Made the choice to leave CEDA in September of 2019, and unfortunately, I'm able to take my old position back in this year when it became clear. So I'm here to read a few more letters of support that we received. I apologize for my voice. This first letter is from Edith Warren, who is one of the owners of Forum Precision located in Auburn's Industrial Park on Tech Park Boulevard. This message comes from all of the management, staff, and workforce here at Forum Precision Industries Incorporated. CETA has been instrumental time and time again over the years, explaining and translating the different opportunities to help sustain and to grow our business. CETA has helped connect Forum Precision to some very important resources that we would not have been able to connect with or even know about, and that is key. You don't know what you don't know. CETA has helped us connect with the fine group of individuals at CNI TDO, a manufacturing extension partnership, connected us with the Trade Adjustment Assistance Center known as TAC, also gotten through CETA, has enabled us to get much needed training to our employees at half the cost to us. That was very impactful to our operation. The SBA's economic injury disaster loan, more on that later in this letter. Also, the information and process for the NYSEG's COVID relief programs. CETA has explored many other options for them when we needed them to, in a variety of matters in the most helpful and timely way an organization such as CETA could have possibly done. CETA has been a very integral partner for explaining the world of economic development and helping Forum to navigate through it. Most recently, when Maureen returned to CETA and learned that Forum was struggling, she showed up in person and helped straighten out Forum Precision's request for an increase to the SBA's economic injury disaster loan just before the program closed. We were able to secure more funds because of Maureen's dedication to the companies that CETA supports and the knowledge that CETA imparts on its companies. These additional funds were crucial to Forum retaining the 26 employees and keeping our doors open and paying back both city taxes and many other debts that were difficult to pay because of the pandemic. There are many families here at Forum and countless other businesses with all their families that have been directly, positively affected due to the work that CETA is able to perform. It will be a sad day if due to budget cuts, CETA is no longer able to provide these services to this community. We respectfully, strongly suggest that you compromise elsewhere, as the saying goes. I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope I have conveyed the impact CETA has on our community. Thank you, Edith Warren. This next letter is from Joe Bartolotta, R&M Real Estate Group. As a family-owned and operated real estate development company, R&M located in Auburn, New York, with deep community ties and a commitment to quality commercial development. Since 2009, R&M has successfully renovated over 20 commercial and mixed-use structures in downtown Auburn, New York, placing into service numerous loft apartment complexes and commercial venues. CETA was very helpful in assisting to secure and administer state grant funding that facilitated the renovation of nearly the entire block of State Street between Genesee Street and Loop Road. That block is now home to what has grown into the entertainment district of downtown Auburn, including successful establishments such as AT Wally's, Asteria Selena, Moondog Lounge, and Prison City Pub and Brewery. CETA also worked with R&M to secure grant funding for the renovation of 29 East Genesee Street, which brought the underground bottle shop to the East Hill. CETA also worked directly with some of R&M's tenants to assist them in building sustainable businesses that have become fixtures in our community, including Gretchen's Confections and Moonflower Bakery. R&M has found CETA to be a great partner with which to navigate the many challenges of commercial development in and around downtown Auburn. We hope that CETA is given the resources necessary for it to continue assisting Cayuga County with economic development, especially given the opportunities anticipated by Micron Technology's plan to build a semiconductor fabrication campus in neighboring Onondaga County. Sincerely, Joseph Barlow. This next one is from Gary Mulvaney, Rocky, who is the mayor of the village of Moravia. My name is Gary Mulvaney, and I'm the mayor for the village of Moravia. I feel that CETA is vital now and will be vital in the future. The village of Moravia has mostly small businesses now, but we could always use new businesses. Maureen Reeser has always contacted our office to be sure she has the current available listings. Most recently, we have discussed vacant buildings in the village that are available to rent for a project she was working on. Reducing the ability for the CETA, the Cayuga Economic Development Agency, to work in all Cayuga counties may prevent small communities like ours to grow. In the future, having the help of the CETA with interested buyers will be of great importance. Please think over what CETA does for Cayuga County and find funding to keep CETA. Thank you very much. This next one is from Christina Brooks, who at the time was the solution manager for Dumont Farms in Dumont. She writes, CETA was instrumental in Dumont Farms getting an ESD, Empire State Development Grant, which spearheaded creating and building of a grain facility that makes feed for dairy cows. That facility has brought about 50 jobs in Cayuga County. People have moved to the area for the company, buying houses and having their children in new schools. CETA was essential to guiding me when I worked at Dumont Farms through the process. CETA was and is terrific to work with. This next one comes from WMT Precision Incorporated, which is formerly known as Weaver Machine and Tool, located on New York Street in Auburn. I'm writing on this memo on behalf of the organization CETA. I've been in contact with CETA on several occasions over the past year. I wanted to inform the panel that the information and support provided was invaluable. As a small business owner in the throes of the environment in which we attempt to operate, the knowledge and information presented allowed WMT to make informed decisions about our future. With the many negative facets that impact and affect our businesses today, such as the pandemic, operating in New York State, managing rising costs of nearly every economic aspect of our business, Maureen offered options. Options for employee hiring and retention, options for cash and revenue streams, grants, loans, options for sales, government contract sites, etc. Maureen spent a fair amount of time with me explaining the many avenues for assistance, financial or otherwise, that I would not have been able to navigate myself, as the network is fairly complex to the non-user. I speak of the assistance I received from Maureen. I'm sure there are others. The idea that the service will cease to exist or exist in some diminished capacity leaves me wondering about the longevity of the economic vitality of Auburn. As a business owner, I would suggest and challenge CETA to get their services to as many businesses as possible. Those of us that survived the last few years are in need of options. Finding those options is not an easy task. With warm regards, Mark and Gianni, Managing Director of WMT Precision. And this last one comes from New Age Renewable Energy, which is located on Genoa Venice Townland Road in the town of Venice. To whom it may concern, on behalf of New Age Renewable Energy team, I would like to highlight the extensive contribution and impact CETA has on Cayuga County and my small business in particular. CETA is a trusted partner and a beacon of hope for one of the most distressed regions in the Finger Lakes. Through their extensive support efforts, I was able to establish and run a successful distillery business during the heights of pandemic, generating 6+ and growing in the number of jobs. Increased tourism, steady taxes for the county and the state, attracting further investment in the region. The following are highlights of the continued support and leadership on behalf of CETA. 1, assistance with securing project financing, foundational and on a continued basis in the form of various grant assistance. 2, strategic partnership alignment, including Cornell University introductions for product development. 3, sales leads to help local business improve profitability, local business to business introductions. 4, employee search assistance. Given competing demand for a shortage of qualifying labor in the region, this has been a tremendous help. I would like to put a strong vote of confidence and support for CETA. Let's keep the beacon of hope for Cayuga County financial stability alive. Sincerely, Edward Zagman, CEO, New Age Renewable Energy. I left a pile of my business cards up there. I would love to meet with every single one of you and talk more about some of the work that CETA's done in their areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. And again, I'm going to say the same thing that I said with Mike. It's just so the public knows that everybody can't come up and talk 15 minutes. It is 3 to 5, but if those people were here, they would have taken the 3 to 5. So I just want everybody to know the next person that comes up to talk has 3 to 5 minutes, okay? And sir, you wanted to talk, do you know who your legislator is?
Todd Dumont, I'm from just south of here.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm Todd Dumont, I'm from just south of here.
Yeah, but and
I don't know.
is it a Wasco?
Yes, for my hometown.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was not aware.
Okay, if you'd like to speak then, sir.
Thank you. So again, Todd Dumont, Dumont Farms, and Marie just spoke quickly about some of the things I'm gonna talk about with the letter from Christina Brooks, who helped me start this project. But 4 years ago, we were a small farm and feed processing. And with CETA's help, we applied for a state grant to build a soybean processing plant. And we were successful in getting that plant and constructing it. It's now operational for almost 3 years. We just wanted to share some of the side effects, some of the numbers of what that plant and what that grant and that effort that CETA and us, we did to grow our business as the impact on our county. So we've increased our payroll since receiving the grant by 1,500%. So 1,500% increase in payroll with an annual 8-to-1 return, payroll return to this county, 8-to-1 of what we received in the grant annually. 20% of our team has annual wages that exceed $100,000, so they're fairly high-paying jobs. The initial investment in the project was about $5 million, but in 3 years we've tripled that and have over $15 million invested in that. So the start was small, but it's had good return and good dividends on that. Out of the 22 crops, so the crop that we just harvested, we will process over 1/3 of New York State's combined soybean production. We also have the potential in the plant to go up to 2/3. So that means 2/3 of all of the soybean acres grown in New York State will pass through our county and have significant value added to them. We also have further projects in mind that we would like to kick off, but we will need CETA's help to make them happen. One of the projects, the first one that's kind of on the docket, we've been in communication with CETA on this, decided not to kick it off this year, but hopefully next year will be a $15 million investment. And the second project will probably be a $5 million investment. I would expect parallel growth to the first one on these projects. They're all agri-based, renewable energy based, kind of linked agri-industry projects. So, in summary, CETA got me started down this road and helped us kick off this project. And I kind of wanted to share some of the trickle down effect of what that means to our county. And, it wouldn't have happened without them. I wouldn't have been able to pull that together and make that happen without CETA. And I would expect the same for the future 2 projects.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Well, I ask you one question, okay?
Yes,
That's a huge success. Just stay in Cayuga County.
I will. We can't pick it up and move it.
Good thing. Thank you so very much. We have 2 proclamations. One was Veterans Day proclamation. I presented that at the Veterans Day at Veterans Park. It was well received, and I appreciate my fellow legislators allowing me to do that. Our second one is, and this is one reason I love sitting up here, is for this second presentation. It's a proclamation for Julie Wilson. Julie, can you and your family and friends, call fellow co-students and all that, come up front, please? Just stand right in front here. Yep, that's fine. Yep. All right, we got all of Cato here.
Half the town's gone.
Andy, would you like to come up? This is your town and you're the one that did the help start this, so I appreciate that. All right, I'll read the proclamation. All right, proclamation, Julie Wilson Day in Cayuga County, November 22nd, 2022. Whereas in our democratic society, it is an important civic responsibility and a great honor for any governmental body to grant public recognition, admiration, and gratitude to these very citizens who have helped to build this community and influence the future of its citizens. And whereas Julie Wilson is a senior attending Cato Meridian High School from Conquest, New York, where she is an honor student, a multi-sport athlete, and has inspirations of becoming a registered nurse. And whereas during Julie's sophomore year, her teacher offered CPR and Narcan training as an extra unit, and she took the opportunity to do so because of her passion to help others. And whereas Julie never imagined that she would be putting those skills to use at the age of 16. And whereas on 2 different occasions, Julie took action and came to the help of her neighbors suffering from opioid overdoses. She administered Narcan on both occasions and performed CPR. And whereas Julie showed so much bravery and courage in her neighbor's moment of need, her actions have inspired her community to start taking more initiative. There are trainings being given by Healing Cayuga at Cato Meridian High School to staff, students, and community members. She has also expressed her desire to join the Healing Cayuga group to speak and help out where she can. Now therefore it be, I resolve that Dave Gould, Chair of the Cayuga County Legislature, and my fellow legislators do hereby proclaim November 22nd, 2022, Julie Wilson Day in Cayuga County and proclaim our gratitude and urge the citizens of the county to join us in recognizing the bravery of Julie Wilson. So much, Julie. You did a great job. 2 different occasions. Oh, my God. And, you know, you wouldn't be like you are without your parents. Wish we had more parents involved. So congratulations. You did a great job. You're welcome. Thank you. Good luck. And you, one other thing, just when you come in there, stay here and keep it coming. Congratulations, Julie. Well deserved. If she wants to, would you like to speak, Julie?
I just wanted to say thank you to my teacher, Miss Cap. I definitely would not have been able to do any of that without her. She's always been a very inspiring teacher who I've respected very much. And I wanted to say thank you to Wally because I wouldn't have been able to do something like this without the support that he's given me this past few weeks. And my parents for just being my parents. So that's it.
Anybody that says our youth in our community is not good people, they're wrong, okay? They're wrong. Okay, we got a presentation, and this was asked by Legislator Basile at the last meeting. He wanted to get some information on CETA, and he requested that Mike Miller update him as far as the, as far as the small grants program and CETA kind of help with that. Mike, do you have that information?
I do. I think Maureen would be.
This is what you asked for last meeting, Jim.
Maureen's going to speak to this.
Okay.
You're all right.
I don't know if Jim will have questions afterwards or whatever, but anybody can have questions.
Purple group to pay attention.
Okay, again, Maureen Reister with CETA. CETA was contracted by the county to administer and market the county's COVID-19 small business grant program. And the program launched on November 1st. It closes on December 15th. And so at this point, we're right around the halfway mark. So far, we've received a total of 51 applications. 44 of them are from the city of Auburn. We have 2 from the village of Weedsport, 1 from the town of Aurelius, 1 from the town of Letchard, 1 from the town of Mentz, 1 from the town of Moravia, and 1 from the town of Sterling. So 86% of the current applications are from the city of Auburn. CETA wrote an article about this COVID grant program. It was published in last Thursday's November 17th edition of the Citizen newspaper. This article was also posted on CETA's website under the news portion. It's been shared on CETA's multiple social media avenues, but we certainly could use some more help from county legislators pushing this out to the information out to your constituents in your areas. It'd be really nice to have more applications from throughout the county. Anybody have any questions?
Jim, did you want to ask? Lydia, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Could you please repeat those again? I got 44 from Auburn, 1 from Mentz, and I didn't hear the rest.
2 from the village of Weedsport, 1 in Aurelius, Ledger, Mentz, Moravia, and Sterling each, for a total of 51.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Maureen? Thank you. Oh, Elaine.
At this point, with the numbers that you have, there is capacity to serve more businesses. Is certainly that's the push for getting the word out, especially outside the city of Auburn.
Absolutely. Out of the 51 total, and there is a high likelihood that some of them won't be eligible. So we certainly can use as many applications as you can gather up. Yes, Trish.
I'm just curious, are you finding most people applying for the max amount, or are they coming in at different amounts?
So far, I believe they're all at the maximum amount of $10,000.
Did you give a deadline on that, Maureen? Is there a
Yes,
deadline?
it's Thursday, December 15th at 4 p.m. It's on CETA's website. If you need it again, if you go to cayugaeda.org, it's right there on the homepage. Click on the link. The website is /county grant. And there's a website, or I'm sorry, a video tutorial that walks through the entire process. Started building a frequently asked questions section. There haven't been too many frequently asked questions, so just a handful so far.
Okay, anybody else for Maureen? If not, thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Mike. I just want to congratulate, it was Brian's resolution that this all started, this whole thing. So congratulations, Brian. And there was a committee that I formed and Brian and Lydia were on it. I know Kim Emperado was on it from Lions Bank, Shireen Lynn, Steve Lynch. And if I missed anybody, please tell me, but they worked on this for literally for months and still, continue to work on it through CETA. And we really appreciate you guys doing this and helping all our citizens in the county that really got hurt during COVID. So thank you all very much. Okay, minutes to approve, October 19th and 20th
Chairman,
and November 3rd.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, I'm sorry.
I thought we were gonna be able to ask Mike some questions.
Well, Mike wasn't up there, but if you want to ask him, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Mike, would you stand up?
I just wanted to ask on that information that you sent us, I replied to Aileen and she said to ask you, the $180,000, I think it was listed as intermediate assets. I mean, can you break that down? Kind of,
Current assets, is that what you're referring to on our balance sheet?
yeah, there was 180,000.
Here.
Yeah, if you want to step up, Mike.
So the majority of that 87% is really a prepaid expense. And the ways that works in finance is it's recognized as an asset, and when it comes to its expense, everything else we have sitting in that portion of our current assets, really not meaningful as it relates to any equity cash position we have.
So I guess the question is, what is your actual fund balance?
So I sent out this information yesterday evening, which Aileen shared with this body here. I had our third-party accountant really work on this for me here, because even looking at our internal financial statements, I've got a finance background. It's where I worked. I took a look at it and said, where am I really sitting here? So I tasked her with putting together where are we going to end up at the end of this year. So we're looking into 2023. How can we better plan appropriately and let this body know this is informing our ask? And what she came to was our cash equity position of what are those reserves is really 122,000.
Okay, so it's confusing what was sent to us then.
So what was sent to you, if you don't mind me, sir, just going through this here. So the materials I shared with you were three. One, our year-to-date financials, and that includes our profit and loss statement, our cash flow, and our balance sheet. With that, I wanted to also share what our third-party accountant put together, and that's the funding analysis that takes a look at from a very high level, what's the money we've made, have expensed, and where does that put us? What is the available money we have sitting in the bank that we can actually rely upon and use? That's that 122,000. Lastly, the scenario analysis I put together outlines 2023 by month and says there's two different ones. There's the 375,000, which is our current funding level, and the 410,000 that I'm requesting. And it takes that and takes a look at our projected expenses or budgeted expenses for 2023, but also considers that 122,000 in the bank and says, how are you doing throughout the year? Every good business and nonprofit, as I understand it, I'm coming from the private sector, so it's a little bit different. But from the nonprofit sector is you should have about a 25% cash reserve ratio. So that ensures you have anywhere from 3 to 6 months of money in the bank should something happen that you can continue work and find, some emergency sources as necessary. As it is right now, looking at next year, we're just kind of grazing the ground going through there. And, that's my job, is to go out there and find new sources of revenue as best possible and, keep our costs under control here, but we are already running very lean. I see that here. Nobody at the firm is making over six figures here. We've made some adjustments to our personnel. As was shared earlier, we're having more separation between activities that Cayuga does and what CETA does. Historically, the executive director is overseeing the chamber and CETA, not anymore. It's 100%. That's where my attention is. Same thing with the marketing manager position. That was also a split role. That will now be 100% CETA. So all those efforts, money that you put into our account under activities will only be for economic development purposes.
So basically what you're saying is you need 520 some thousand next year if you're planning on using the reserves you have plus what we're giving you or what you're asking for. But you've had vacant positions too. So where is that money? I mean, here's one of my biggest pitches. It always has been, because we just listened to all this presentation. Auburn doesn't put a dime into this. But it sounds like Auburn got a lot of benefit out of this. And what did we do before CETA? Did nobody come to Cayuga County? Did nobody have a business in Cayuga County because they couldn't figure out a way to do the things that we're being told CETA's doing? I mean, I don't care to be the bad guy. That's fine. I always am. So I'm used to it. But things don't add up. I mean, we're all of a sudden going to 500 and some thousand. We're talking about something that I keep saying, talk to me in 10 years when Micron actually happens, because we know what we heard, in recent from the person who used to have your position about what Amazon was going to do for Cayuga County. I'm not sure they've done anything for Onondaga County yet because they've never fulfilled their jobs. And now they're laying tens of thousands off across the country and automating their workforce according to them themselves. So you want to fund CETA? I'm fine with the county funding some of CETA. Let the city also fund some of CETA. When we listen to 86%, is city businesses. And when we listen to this street, that street, and that street getting developed up before you did your thing, and Greg Creedon, I sat with you, Maureen, and DeLong, one of the biggest grain shipping companies, I think the fourth largest in the United States, wanted to come to Cayuga County and do something on the rail. And after about a month of getting nowheres, I almost lost not only a friend, but company that I do business with, because they walked away because they weren't happy. And I could have asked people to come in tonight and speak too, but I didn't, because I knew the meeting would last forever with this side coming in and speaking. But again, where's the city in all this, and how Micron's not here? So how did we all of a sudden need such a huge increase plus your reserves for something that may happen, may not happen? We don't know. I mean, I'm glad your business did what it did.
So the increase we're asking for from 375 to 410, it's about 35,000. I would love it if you would all entertain $500,000 plus. I'll take all the money you're willing to give me. And that's part of what I'm doing. I am going to the city. I am going to the IDAs, and I am requesting more money. I'm doing that with every partner we have, because reinvesting in CETA will be of the greatest benefit for this county on the whole. Now, you as legislators here, I would ask all of you is to inform your constituents we exist. I am making that a personal mission of mine. I just presented at the town of Ledger last week, my hometown. They weren't aware we exist. And that's a crying shame, because these are my friends and neighbors. So we're going around and addressing that. A great majority of the businesses, small businesses, and some of the larger manufacturing facilities are right here in Auburn, and we're centrally located. So that's my belief as to why Auburn is seeing a lot of that activity there. But I would request that every one of you, as representing your areas, let your town know about us. And we're going to be going out into your areas requesting to present, let you know that we're here. As it relates to Micron, this is, in my view, and a lot of the partners we've worked with at the local level, state and regional as well. This is the single largest investment in upstate New York's history. It's unprecedented. It provides generational change beyond our lifetime. And this $100 billion they're looking to invest is over, 20 years. I am not saying, or the county itself, as we're positioning, is not saying, well, we're going to benefit Micron specifically, but those tier 1, tier 2 suppliers, we think we have a really great shot at that there. However, we've been advised that if we want to participate in that whatsoever, we have to invest in ourselves to be recognized as a professional player to come to the table. So as Micron is looking to work at that local level, specifically in Onondaga County, but they're looking elsewhere too, is that surrounding area. What do these other counties have to offer? Are they investing in themselves? So if we have a vendor supplier, would we recommend this county over another? We think, based on the information we have quite a leg up. We have advanced manufacturing here. And we have a skilled workforce that can help build out that very complex facility and probably the supply facilities to it. As was pointed out, Weedsport, town of Brutus, jumped off of 31 there. It's the next town over. We've got a great quality of living and a cheaper cost of living over here. We absolutely anticipate increased growth here, but do we want to control it? Do we want to dictate our future, or will it come in and dictate us? How do we want to do this? And our perception is we've got to be proactive in this as best possible. There is no guarantee that any of this is going to come to fruition, but doing nothing, you can guarantee you're going to get nothing.
Trish, then Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for providing responses to my questions about your financials so quickly. Pointing out the prepaids made me look at your reserves completely differently. And I see that you guys are operating lean and that you don't have a lot of reserves to draw on. I do think now is the time to invest and grow in economic development and really work as closely as we can with CETA, both the county and the city. The city has unique advantages to offer, and outside of the city has unique advantages to offer. Collectively as a whole, I feel like we're really the complete package. We've got all the freshwater resources. We've got some of the best soils. We've got water, sewer. We've got proximity to markets. We've got exit 40. We've got so much stuff. And then we have Kapusa, which is potentially an entity that could provide low-cost energy for businesses looking to move here. That's a huge opportunity that we've talked about in the past, and I know that there's going to be future conversations. That could be really a competitive advantage for our county, but also the entire region. So I think we're really positioned well to capitalize on some of the investment and growth that we are seeing now. I don't think Micron's here by accident. Onondaga County, Center State CEO, they've been working for years on putting together a strategy and putting land together, building workforce, building the value chain to attract a company like Micron. It will come, it's going to come, and we're going to feel the impacts of it. So I'm excited. I don't think we should be pulling back money right now from CETA. And I just wanted to say that as a city resident, we do pay county taxes. It's the county tax dollars that provide the base funding for CETA. And we don't want to start pulling extra money from other municipalities to provide that base funding. CETA is a countywide organization that serves top to bottom all of the municipalities. We've seen a lot of investment outside of the city in ag economic development. That's going to continue to grow, I think. There's going to be amazing gains building off of what we've already had, simply because of our county and the farm history, the soils, what we have to offer here. So I think taxing the city separately doesn't make sense to me. I was encouraged to hear you're doing something specific with the town of Brutus, maybe they're putting on staff to look at specific economic development in that municipality. I know you have some special contracts with the city to do the same. So the city is paying for things outside of the base funding for CETA. But I think we have to own the county as the county entity. We have to own our economic development strategy and the base funding for this entity. I think you're more relevant and important than ever. And I appreciate your work.
Thank you, Trish. Brian?
I don't know how many times that, I don't know how to explain to my fellow legislators that city residents pay county taxes. And I'm not gonna put Lynn on the spot but I guarantee if we do a percentage of how many, city residents pay of the county taxes, it could be possibly a very high number. And we know it's in a good number, maybe 80%, I'm guessing. I don't know, Lynn, but I don't want to put you on the spot. My point is, we can't double dip. Like I live in the city, I pay county and city taxes. You want to tax me a third time? It doesn't make any sense. And as far as MCRON is considered, Andy's right. They may never come here. But there will be another company like MCRON coming through these neck of the woods. And we need to have people at the table that are going to come in and advocate for Cayuga County. If we do not have CETA, it doesn't matter who comes in. It could be Amazon, it could be MCRON. It doesn't matter. We don't have anybody to go have those conversations. I'm in full support of giving CETA whatever they need. It's not 500,000, it's 35,000 because you have a unbalanced 128. Is that what it is?
22.
22. And that's another thing too. I know it's going to come up. Let's exhaust at 122, but that's not how not-for-profit. They need that money to be functional. That money is supposed to be there in the case of emergency. So they need all the money they need to operate. I appreciate the hard work you've been doing, Michael. Thank you.
Mark, thanks. Brian?
I guess more, my comment is just more of a comment. I know at the last ledge meeting a month ago in October, I believe you were asked to provide our fundamental or your financials to our Ways and Means Chairman, and we got them last night. You yourself stood right there and said, when you got all that information, I don't know what the delay was or why, but when you got all that information, it was staggering. I'm not a CPA. I looked at those numbers. I don't understand them. I didn't have the opportunity to take them to somebody who could explain it to me on my level. And it makes it hard for me to make an informed decision on spending county tax dollars when I don't have all the information that I feel the people in my district deserve. Thank you.
So if I may speak to that, Mr. Pitcher here asked for the financials on November 10th. I had spent that day up in Utica. So on November 11th, I played catch up from that. Following Monday, as I started to work on preparing all of that information, I got sick. On Wednesday evening, I passed along as much information as I could to Aileen here. That was last Wednesday. After listening to the meeting that you all had last week, it became clear you didn't have enough to make a decision. So I've worked since then and had been in contact with our third-party accountant to say, for the people in this room, how can you better simplify what our position is? So I understand it and they can understand it as well. And that's why all of this information, since Thursday, when I really had a chance to go to the meeting, to yesterday evening, and working with our third-party accountant to put all of that information together. It was more of a capacity constraint issue, as well as I'm trying to give you the best information I have so you can make an informed decision about our future here. And I do apologize for the delay, but that's really what the holdup was on that end.
Lydia?
Thank you. Hi, Mike. The Long County issue that we have, right? And we talked about this before. And I heard in the room that, we're concerned because we appear to be focusing centrally in the city of Auburn. I wonder if you might consider a traveling roadshow or, maybe having a schedule so that you're seated in, I don't want to call them satellite offices, but I know that we all have towns who have town clerk's offices and town offices, and they're not staffed 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. There's time that maybe you might be able to coordinate with them and have some sort of a standard schedule so that the rest of the county might have better access to you.
That is exactly what our team has been evaluating, is because it's a long county. How do we best attack each township and village there? And one, make sure those towns and villages know the services we have available. And then going from there is how might we set up some office hours throughout the year and make sure that's well known? Because in the past, as I understand it, CETA had one of our staff members located in different parts of the county, but wasn't getting a whole lot of people coming to those meetings there. That's again, me requesting of this body here is let your area know of our existence, what we can help provide to businesses in your community.
And one question, how long has CETA been in existence? I apologize for my.
2010, I believe thereabouts, so 12 going on 13 years.
The question?
How long has
How
it been in business?
Candy?
Just a quick, I'm not asking to raise people's taxes in the city, Brian. I'm saying I'd like the city to put 150,000 out of their budget into CETA. That's the point I'm making, because as you yourself said, so CETA's been around 12 years. Your town, now that you're the new director, doesn't even know who the hell CETA is until you're now there as the new director.
Which is
That tells you where CETA has kind of focused their attention to for a lot of the time, which is all I'm asking is the city pump in 150,000 out of their budget. Everything CETA's done for the
It's an
city.
interesting balance. So in Ledger, we have assisted several businesses, but our municipal leaders were not as well informed of this is CETA and this is what they've done for some of our area businesses. The Aurora Inns being the largest one in the Aurora Ledger area there. And what I'm looking to do for our organization is that the average person on the street can be able to identify CETA as, if you're thinking about business, give us a call first so we can help you. We are free, we're confidential. This is like almost the best kept secret in the county. I want to unleash it here. And thankfully, over the years, we've been able to assist a lot of businesses, but for many of those other folks that may not be aware of our presence and what we can offer, we want to be able to reach them as well.
Okay, I'm just asking you, this is the time to ask Mike anything we want, because sooner or later, we're going to be voting on the budget. And if we have questions, it might not be here. So now is the time, Jim.
Thank you, Chair. So other than payroll, and I had only a brief chance to look at the budget numbers. I mean, where does all the expenses go when you say, when you're asking even for the 375? Do you actually provide the grants? Or are you getting the grants from somebody else? Where's, other than payroll, I understand that. Where's the money go?
So the money without question is really going to payroll. We're a service firm. So that's where the greatest expense is going, is to our salary, our benefits. And we do have that overhead, computers, electricity, rent, program expenses along those lines as well. We ourselves, we don't have grants. We identify available funding sources and then work with businesses to say, we think this would be best based on your needs. Let's help you navigate this so you can get approved, hopefully, to get through here. And we have had some great successes as a result of that. The one program that we were really administering was the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. And this is one, and I had shared with this body here, that we had contracted administration of that out of our office. And that was really in consideration to recipients of that program. We've had, a bit of changing hands here. And I was hearing from those recipients is it's frustrating that we're getting, some different people. And we listened to them and said, let's go get a firm that really can take care of these recipients and that can continue on with these important projects. So that's part of where our expenses are right now and going into 2023.
So can I, so revitalization program, usually the grant covers the cost of an architect or whatever to manage those programs. Am I misunderstanding that, or is that?
There are portions of it, it's a little convoluted here, and how CETA gets paid from that program is we have an administration fee. Recipients apply based on what their project scope is. A lot of that is really the construction, electricity, HVAC work that's going into it. Doesn't necessarily cover those project management costs themselves there. That's those businesses have to bring some level of equity into it to be approved for that project.
Okay, question
Go ahead,
for the chair or the planning committee. If they're paying rent and so forth, do we have any, I don't know how many square feet they use. Is there space in a county building that would help save some costs?
That would
It doesn't
probably
need to be
be,
answered right now, just
Yeah.
a broad brush question.
again, they're not county employees, so they have,
That they're getting county money.
but they're not county employees, though. I mean, you'd have to have a contract and everything else, right, Chris?
Okay.
Yes. I mean, if something happened in
Outside
here.
the box to save some money.
Oh,
We already have.
If we ask every department in this whole building, nobody's cutting from their budget anything. Everybody wants, and we have 5% less population in the county. So we're at 5% less to draw from. And by raising the assessments doesn't make it up because just more people will leave, that's all.
We rent to two companies.
Hmm?
We rent space to two companies in our office.
But I was trying to find a way, that, we give them county money, why would we charge them rent?
We have a very good rent agreement as it is right now, and it also provides a space where.
Brian, you can laugh, you guys can laugh,
It's
just trying to think outside the box,
Well,
that's all.
I
So
think-
I'm sorry. Mike.
One at a time, please.
I'm done.
Jim, are you done?
All right, I'm done. I'm done asking questions.
Okay, everybody, let's calm down.
Should be.
We got all night.
Yeah, I'll think those questions.
Jim and Brian, stop, please. We're here to find out about CETA and what we need to do when the time comes to vote on this budget. So again, it's the second time. Anybody that has questions, please now's the time.
I just got one question.
Go ahead.
How many employees do you guys have at CETA?
Right now, we currently have 4 employees with 2 open positions that we're actively interviewing.
So 6 is your at full capacity at this budget that
Yes.
you're asking for?
You done, Brian?
Yeah, that was it.
Right. Eddie?
Like with that 6, when and if you get to full capacity, does that include someone dedicated to work with Michael?
That's one of the things we're sizing up right now is we've been having these discussions over the last several weeks. We're considering what is the time investment that goes into that. A lot of our partners throughout the county, they don't have the dedicated staff. And CETA is that agency team that our partners at that state and regional level look to for economic development. So we're taking the lead on that. And I have designated Maureen Reeser to be our project manager to lead everything around the opportunity related to Micron here. With that, we're continuing to evaluate what 2023 looks like, but it's going to be a significant portion of her time. And she right now fills the capacity as our economic development specialist in charge of business retention and expansion and attraction for our larger companies here. What I've been trying to figure out with Maureen, and we're hopefully going to have this figured out in the next couple of weeks, is does that provide her enough time to continue fulfilling those other objectives? Or will we have to figure out that, do we need to hire somebody? If we don't have the money to do that, how do we navigate our staff to figure that out there? Because while we love the opportunity that's presented by Micron, those companies that are here, they're just as, if not more important, because they're here and they're continuing to invest in Cayuga County. And that's one sure thing we know is you are still here. You still need all of that time and attention.
Anybody else for Mike at all? If not, I want to say a couple.
I got one more question.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'd like to see the spreadsheet on the salaries, the rent, the electricity and so forth, and what that comes out to for a year.
Did you send that out, Mike?
I
If
did
it was
not
one of-
send out that level of detail, and I don't believe I would be sharing that level of detail.
Excuse me?
I do not believe I can share that level of detail specifically there. I would have to double check of, where it is, the line kind of stop at.
Sure. You're asking for $400 and some thousand. Find out where the line is.
Anybody else? I just want to say a few words, as I said.
Sure.
Go ahead, Brian.
Do you have anybody making over 6 figures?
No.
Okay.
Okay, my turn, I think. For the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, since Micron made that announcement, literally the next several days, we formed a committee. I formed the committee. And we've been working together since then with Center State, with Dave Botar, with everybody that we can reach out to. Certainly Mike's on it. There's several of the members of our staff on it. And I think it's going very well. We talked to Center State the other day. We talked to Dave. They think we're doing great things, and that's his word. All right, we're doing great things in this county. We're ahead of other counties. And I'm so glad to hear that because we've been working very hard to put these committees together. There's 4 subcommittees. We've already got them. December 13th, I think it is. There's our group that's representing this county that's going over to Center State. And they have a big meeting with the 5 counties that's involved in this. And Dave Botar will be emceeing that and running that meeting. We are ahead and we need CETA more than ever. But we've talked about it. I've talked to anybody that'll listen to me about it. The history of CETA, good. I don't care about it. I really don't care what happened until now. Mike's new, Mike's young, Mike's aggressive. And he's got a staff down there that listens to Mike. It's his staff. We don't tell him who to hire. I'm very pleased working with Mike. And I think he's going to be very successful in this county. He's a smart young man who has got all the enthusiasm and love for this county that we do. So I am certainly in favor of giving CETA what we are going to ask for now or what we're going to give is, we'll talk about that in the future. But I want you to know that Mike is CETA is a very important part of this group that we formed. And it's very important. And so is Bob. Bob's on that committee. Bob, but Capusa is going to be, much better off for this county working with CETA and working with this group with Micron. It's just, and I know, Andy, what you said about Amazon is true. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I can guarantee you they're not putting $100 billion into something that won't be successful. I think we're going to do this, and I think we're going to do it very quickly. I say aye, Micron. But if we're not a part of it, we're not going to be part of it. So we really need to keep ahead. I think we've got great people on these committees. We're working hand in hand with the city. We've worked with Jeff ever since it started. The mayor was here for some meetings. I think we're doing great things and great strides ahead of other people. And a lot, you're a partner in that. So that's what I had to say. And that's the way I feel. Again, history, I don't care. I don't care how CETA was run since 2010. I don't care. It's now. We need CETA now more than ever. And I think CETA's in better hands now than it ever was. That's my opinion. Okay, any other comments? Aileen?
If I could, I just want to say thank you to the folks that came today on behalf of CETA. I appreciate you taking the time, the busy to be here. I appreciate the testimonies. You were all, that was a lot that you were able to collect in a short notice. I'm very thankful that you were here to give us a full picture. I agree with what the chair has said. We need to be part of this opportunity as well as attend to the existing businesses in this county. We want to keep them here. We need to be part of this opportunity, and we need to provide for CETA to their full extent of what they're asking. I don't want to see them just dragging along and surviving. Why aren't we investing in them? We need to take a good hard look at ourselves. Everyone references this mass exodus from the state because there's nothing here. Well, I'm tired of listening to all the complaining, and I want to see some action. The action can be right here. I want to be part of the organization that invests in the future of this county. I want to leave this seat knowing we left this county better than when I entered the seat. So I need you all to self-examine. I don't know what you have to go through, but you need to, think about, what needs to be done. This is a huge opportunity. I've been a part of, I had the pleasure of being the chair. I know what it's like to elbow your way through the state, to elbow your way into meetings, try and get in front of other counties. It's very, very, very competitive. And unless you have a strong advocate, proactive approach, you're going to be left out. And I will be darned if we are going to be left out of this. So I want to thanks to the chair too for your work. I think that's very
Thank you.
profound. Thank you.
While you've been sitting there listening to myself and Aileen talk for a few minutes, anybody thought of any more questions that you need to ask Mike? Okay. I just want to add a few other people that are part of this committee that we formed is the school system. Jeff Parazola is part of it. Both colleges are part of it. We have Jason Curtis, who's a general manager of Nucor, John Courier. We all know who Courier Plastics is. They're all on this committee, helping us to look towards the future and get ahead of everybody else. There's 5 counties involved in this, and they're all going to be competitive. We got to stay on top. So again, any other questions for Mike?
Just to follow up, you mentioned Jeff Perzolo from the Auburn School District. Are any of the other school districts or?
He's representing
The BOCES.
the BOCES superintendent has been asked. I think he's probably going to join,
Okay,
but until he does, Jeff is representing all of them.
okay, gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Minutes to approve, October 19th, 25th, and November 3rd.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, communications and announcements. I don't think we have any. Mike, you want to make a communication?
No, I'm gonna have, something to keep me awake.
Okay.
All this stuff was repeat, and repeat, and repeat.
All right, CCC report is Dr. Durant or anybody representing him. I didn't see his name.
I'm here this evening. Can you hear me?
Uh,
I'm the trustee.
Yes, go ahead, Tricia.
I don't really have a report.
All right.
But if somebody has.
Can you hear me?
Questions or anything.
Okay. Tricia's on their board. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Committee reports, any individual legislators have anything that they want to report?
Just a couple of quick things. I don't know if she's still here, Monica. For her work in the community, and it's kind of an in-depth profile on her, story behind the woman. So she's going to be interviewed at 9 o'clock on PBS, if anybody wants to watch that. And I also just wanted to report out, I'm the representative on the CNY regional market. that operates out of Syracuse. A lot of our farm community sells there. And the grounds there are very outdated. There has been no investment for years other than patching failures and things that need to be repaired. So we've been going through a strategic planning process to look at upgrading these facilities. There's a new farmers market grant that's out through New York State Ag and Markets, and Amanda Vitale, the director, is seeking support from counties that are part of that regional market service area. So Cayuga County is part of that. Just wanted to put it on everybody's radar. She'd love to come and give a brief presentation about what's happening there. Meetings coming up. But there will be a letter of support request coming out on that.
Thank you. Anybody else at all? I think Monica would do a good job tonight. Heidi?
As a representative for our county tourism board, I wanted to mention that, again, looking to the future going forward, there's some research that's been done about what will happen after the completion of the renovation at the church where Harriet Tubman served and was a congregant. The research indicates that there will be, in addition to, because of the national park, 250,000 new individual contacts to this county. 250,000 individual contacts, people coming, going in, utilizing our businesses, eateries, other kinds of tourism opportunities throughout the entire county. And the county, we have a director, as you probably all know, it's Karen, but she has a true county focus and can take those 250,000 contacts at the Auburn-based church and get them motivated to move throughout this entire county. So there's some exciting developments.
Well, just one more word from me before I get into my report. I'm being so positive about this county. I've got some great feelings and instincts that this county is going to be very, very important someday in the near future. We're growing. We've got great new department heads. That department heads we could trust. This body is very intelligent, full of very intelligent people. I just think we got to look up, and we are. I think it's going to be, the next few years is going to be great for Cayuga County. So I'm going to stay positive. Okay, I'm going to have a quick report because it is an hour and a half into this meeting already. I always start off by thanking the department heads, certainly all the employees and all the legislators, my fellow legislators. I know Julie left, but I want to congratulate her again if there's anybody listening. This young girl at 16 saved 2 lives. And that's, you're put on the earth for a reason. Maybe she put on the earth for saving 2 lives. I just congratulate her so much. Donna's working on the Fire Training Academy still. I don't know if is Don here? No, okay. He's supposed to be getting final specs and prices very soon. I thought we'd have it by now, but as soon as I get that, I'll certainly share it with everybody. As we all know, the legislature, the referendum passed from 15 to 11. So there will be a lot of changes in this body in 14 months from now. So I hope we can all work together and decide what the future is going to be as far as that goes. Our ARPA committee, I want to thank everybody again on the ARPA committee. I know they've done a great job. I know there's still some money left that we got to decide. They got to decide, and then we all got to approve what we're going to do with it. But I want to thank them. The county office building project, I get asked 100 times a day, and I'm sure all of you do. It is coming along, I think, very well. We're getting some final specs to share with all of you probably within a week. We're just waiting for the county attorney's office to look them over, make sure they're all right. Gary's worked hard on this. Don's worked hard on this. And as soon as it's brought to you and we decide, we can send out some RFPs and start getting this thing where we want it. I'm truly hoping that we have it settled by the early spring, or middle spring. Our youth director's here. Would you like to stand up and say a few words? I don't know. I know you were here a few weeks ago, but if you'd like to say a few words, we we are very lucky to have this lady. She did a lot in Onondaga County and we stole her and we're so glad of it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This is my 4th week I started here, so I'm the new Youth Bureau Director here in Cayuga County. So I came from Onondaga County after 16 years with the Parks Department there. So I've met a lot of great people and I have a lot of great ideas and everybody's been so wonderful to work with. So I'm really excited to get started. I've learned a lot through people I've met already with the county, as well as transitioning to Boyd Hoskins. He's been great for me as well. So thank you, everybody, for being so welcoming. I really look forward to working with everybody.
Thank you. It's our honor to have you here.
I'll be following up. Deb reached out to me, asking that for the small group of us who actually sat in on the interviews, Lydia, myself, Trish, and Heidi, if we would entertain this preliminary meeting to really talk to her about what the vision was for the decision to make a full-time youth bureau director, and really what the decisions were around giving the $250,000 of ARPA funding, and what was the vision that we were thinking. So I really welcome that conversation. I'm sure everyone does, and I'm thrilled that you know, at this point in time, you're looking at what it is that, we looked at when we tried to bring you forward. So I'll be emailing the 4 of you in the near future, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Elaine. And just to be fair, our new CMO director is here. Riley, would you like to say a few words? I know you've been here a couple months now, but I don't know if you've had all the legislators.
I have nothing further this evening.
You can't say how nice it is to work here?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's in the minutes. That's in the minutes.
It's wonderful.
Okay, good. Soon we'll be filling the finance director. I know that I think Diane sent it out again. She's tied up on another thing tonight, but she sent it out again, and I'm thinking we got a couple more weeks, then the interview team can start interviewing people. I'm hoping to have that certainly by the end of the year. And our grants manager position, that was sent out again, and I'm hoping to fill that by the end of the year too. So we'll have all our department heads filled by the end of the year. Okay, anybody got any questions for me? Yes, Andy.
I just want to say on the building thing.
Yep.
I mean, if we're looking to spend anywhere between 30 and 70 million, I mean, as government, we can borrow money dirt cheap compared to the average human. So I hope we seriously look into that as opposed to passing all those costs on to the taxpayers, because we've heard a lot of rainbows and unicorns tonight, but the census doesn't lie. I hope the census turns around, but right now we're still losing people. We can't afford to continue losing people. I hope Mike Ron brings in, I hope we're 150,000 in this county in 20 years. But until then, we can't pass the costs on to the taxpayers. So I know, in the past, been people who are very anti borrowing money as government, but when you can borrow it dirt cheap compared to what you and I can borrow it for, we need to look into that. And I haven't heard a lot of that being discussed during this whole building renovation thing.
Lynn and I have talked a lot about it, Andy, and once we give you the specs and we kind of get your opinions and certainly a final vote, then we'll be able to do a presentation of how we're going to pay for this. Lynn doesn't know that, but she does know. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, anybody else? Any questions for me? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to mention that to respond to legislator Dennison, that we did put $1 million of ARPA funds toward the new building. That was actually so that we could leverage bonding. You have to have that money available in order to leverage bonding. So there actually has been conversations moving toward, those low to no costs.
And the ARPA committee. Thank you. Anything else? If not, we'll move right on to resolutions because we have several of those too. Hans, Ways and Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before you start, let me do one thing. Let me do the public hearing again. If anybody is listening or want us to call in, 315-294-8051. If you wish to speak on the public hearing, authorizing the video conferencing for public meetings. Okay, Hans, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ways and Means has 13 resolutions. I'd like to offer the first 9 as a bundle.
Second.
Okay, they're all housekeeping resolutions. Anybody have any questions on anything?
I mean, I just didn't know if you wanted to separate number 9, seeing as it was amended at ways.
Yes, it's 1 through 8 or something.
Oh, you said.
Yeah, we said 1 through 9, but 1 through 8. Hans.
Okay.
Okay, 1 through 8. Do I have a motion?
Got a second.
Second? Did you get the second?
Yeah.
Any discussion on 1 through 8? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, thank you. Hans?
Okay, WM9, this is a tentative budget. We didn't approve it last time because we wanted to complete it, right? Ren?
Yes, these are the amendments that we discussed at the Ways and Means meeting, and I believe it's in the packet, and it's got all the changes that we had discussed. I don't know if you want to pull it up, Sheila.
Let's say for those that weren't there, pull it up.
Can you find it?
Was there 4 of them, Lynn?
4 or 5. When would know? Then how many were there? You know, there wasn't a lot.
This is a clarifying question.
Right there.
Tentative budget you released. If these changes that we all seem to agree on pass, is that now the preliminary or the budget
County law,
approved by Ways and Means or?
we use it a lot, they have been for a long
Okay.
time, but county law, or the finance section does not mention a preliminary budget.
Okay.
Towns do, villages do, like, I don't love the city. There's a tentative budget as amended, which if.
That's what this might be.
If
Tentative
this
budget as
resolution
amended.
passes, that will be
Okay.
the tentative as amended.
Yep.
And in the event the final adoption of the budget does not pass after your public hearing, you fall back to the tentative. budget as
Yes, amended. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Andy?
Clarification, Chris. This is just on these ones here, so that's not passing the whole tentative budget.
No, you're only amending the tentative with this resolution. You still have to hold a public hearing, which will be on the tentative budget as amended. It'll allow the public to speak to that spending plan.
And other changes could be made.
Yeah, the legislators could bring amendments then.
So other changes can still be made. Tentative
Yes.
budget. Okay.
Yes.
This is just clarifying I just want to make sure we weren't putting ourselves in something that we didn't realize we were getting into here.
Okay, does everybody take the time to read that? Hans, it's up there if you want to read WM9.
I'll move WM9 now.
Second. Any discussion? Lynn's here if you have any discussion. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Hans?
We have another 4 resolutions, 10 through 13. Again, they're basically housekeeping, so ask that it be bundled.
Move it as a bundle.
Second.
13.
I gotta say something first. Tricia has to abstain on this one. So just so you know, and it's in the record. Trish, on WM 13.
Oh, just 13.
Yeah.
So you can't do a bundle then. Separate 13 out.
Okay, you want to do the bundle 10 through 12, Hans?
Oh, yes.
All right. Give me a motion, 10 through.
Second that one.
All right, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, WM 13.
I'll move it.
A second.
Any discussion? Andy?
Why do you have to abstain?
Personal interest. And I also need to be excused from any further conversation about it.
Grant, right?
Yep.
Grant position, okay.
Okay. That's weird, but okay.
Okay, so we're all, thanks, Hans, I appreciate it.
Oh,
We didn't vote.
WM 13, we got a first and a second.
First and
And-
second, just need to vote.
Yeah, any discussion further? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Yes. Elaine, Health and Human Service?
Health and Human Services had 5 resolutions this month. HH4 was pulled. They went through both committees, fully approved at Ways and Means, and I asked for grouping together 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 and present them as a bundle.
Move
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. That's got to be the least resolution we've had in 10 years. Congratulations. Government ops, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too was going to comment on the unusual light load that
Yeah. and look
Playing
yours.
gotta lay
And
with
look
this.
at yours.
But having said that, government operations indeed had more than health and human services. We had 15. One is a duplicate. So at this time, I would offer 1 minus 2 and 3 through 15 as a bundle. They've been through both committees.
Move it.
Does 3 have to be pulled out?
Is that a
because we're still in
2/3?
public hearing?
Chris, you need to pull out WM 15 because that's a 2/3 vote.
That's the 2/3 one. So 15. I don't think 3 has to be separate.
3, are we still in the public hearing? Yes.
Okay, thank you. So
3 and 15 are out for now.
So at this time, I will bundle 2 was pulled, 4, 5, 6 through 13 and 14.
Motion.
Second.
Anybody, any discussion? Amy?
I just have a discussion point on change of the policies. Many of these changes came with, the reasoning behind it is to remove the language of county administrator. We are still under the county administrator form of government. We still have a vacant county administrator position. Until we change the form of government in this county, I think it's prudent to change the policies. I will be voting no on the bundle. I don't know if it's too late to separate them out,
You want to separate every one of them?
the policies.
There's a motion
If
and a
it's too late-
second.
if It's too late.
Yeah, I'll just ask the council to clarify. There's a motion and a second. Does it have to proceed that way? Because there's a,
What other way would you like to proceed?
well,
It's broken out. So
she just,
She can absolutely ask for that.
oh, you're gonna stick it to me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at that.
Hey, that's
I
interesting.
thought the ship sailed, so I.
Made the motion, just rescind it.
Wait, so
I just wanted to separate out the actual policy.
the policy with
Policy.
regarding, so specifically which one?
Oh, the new policies.
All of them?
All, you, okay.
No, I don't need to separate them individually. You can
Okay.
put those as a bundle.
All right,
That's what I was suggesting.
so we'll try again.
See if I didn't miss the-
Mr. Chair, I'd like to be considered for health and human services. So, so I'm gonna go with, we'll try this again. 1, 4, and 5. And 13 and 14. Does that work for you?
That's great.
All right,
move it.
Second.
thank you.
Any discussion? Did you want to discuss? anything? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Chris?
All right, now, so 5 through 13, I'll offer at this time.
No.
No,
12. 12, sorry, 5 through 12.
Did the 1, 5 isn't everything.
No,
Policy.
5 and 6 have nothing to do with policies.
My God, what have we done?
Said 1, 4.
7 through 12.
7 through 12. 7 through 12.
So you have to do 6 first.
You gotta do 6 by itself.
No, we haven't done 3 yet, so.
Yeah, we gotta wait till the end of the meeting for 3.
Chris, did you include 5? Because I have 1, 4, 5, 13, and 14.
That's what I thought.
Okay, because 5 is the one to, that's the public hearing.
I thought the.
No, 6
Oh, that's
is ours.
4.
3 is a public hearing.
Oh, I don't make glasses. I
We go on to Public Works?
apologize.
I missed that.
I go see things.
Nope, just me.
6 is the one for public hearing on tentative budget on ours.
No, my apologies. I didn't
Setting the
have glasses on.
This is awesome.
7 to 12.
7 to 12.
5 is the tax one.
You have it straight now?
Time it would take.
No, I absolutely do not. So we did 7 through 12, is that correct? We did that.
No.
You gotta.
We have
We
to
should
do
do that one
that.
now.
I make a motion to bundle 7 through 12.
Second.
Any discussion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Any discussion on 7 through 12? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I
I am,
Which, one? All of them?
the bundle.
Are you opposed to the bundle? Hans?
Yes, absolutely. We're wasting too much time and doing absolutely nothing, just passing these resolutions.
Okay, we got two no votes.
No for Nightingale.
You,
No on the bundle for Nightingale.
okay. Anybody else? If not, all in favor? We did that. 3 opposed?
Yeah.
Go ahead. That it, Chris?
Yeah, what do we got left?
We got,
Say 3 till the end,
yeah, we got 3, so we can wait till the end for that one.
or has it been, has the time elapsed?
Yeah, close it now.
Been here forever.
Yeah, let's just close it now so we can get it done.
Good idea.
All right,
You missed number 6.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to dispose of 3 first and then we'll get to 6.
all right, it is now 7:45 PM. I will close the public hearing. Now you can vote on number 3.
All right, so at this time I'll move 3.
Second.
Discussion. Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, thank you.
All right, so now I'll move 6.
I oppose. I'm sorry, I just got my hand up before you went on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just oppose my vote is no.
On what?
Number 3.
Okay, all right. All right, well, go ahead, Chris. You all done? You gotta do,
6 and 15.
Yes.
yeah, we all,
Well, we can't do 15 because it's got to be 2/3, so.
Well, unless.
we just have to raise hands on it.
All right, so I'll try it as a bundle then.
All right.
Watch it get so I'll bundle 6 and 15.
Second? Second? In discussion?
You need 2/3 vote.
Well, if.
Well, we do it.
Everyone votes yes.
Okay.
We get it.
Right, but if everybody votes yes, that's why I said I'll
I
try.
don't need it if everybody,
Try being the operative word.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passed.
You already got a chair.
Planning, it's a good thing you don't have any. Alien planning though.
Oh, planning done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, that's just not fair.
It's plain wrong.
She did that on purpose to you. You couldn't get back at her. She knew that. All right, Andy, Public Works.
Public Works, Mr. Chairman, has 9 resolutions. They went through both committees. Number 7 was pulled for future discussion at Parks and Trails. I don't know if you guys have had that discussion yet, but
December 7th.
December 7th they will have, so I'm sure December's meeting will possibly bring that back up or not. So I'd like to bundle 1 through 6 and 8 and 9, unless somebody wants one of those.
Second.
Any discussion on those? Not all in favor? Any opposed? Passed. Art, safety.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. JPS has 8 resolutions tonight. I would like to offer JP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 as a bundle. All have passed through both committees unless someone would like one separated.
Nothing?
Jim moved it, I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thanks, Mark. Okay, we have 2 ledges, ledge 1 and ledge 2, and I will bundle those 2 unless anybody wants them separated. Second,
Second.
any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we do have an executive session. The only ones I'm gonna ask to stay is Shereen and Lynn. So we'll be in
Sure, I
the.
move that we enter into executive session for contract.
Second.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, what about the one that you left on her?
I don't even know. What is it? I didn't put anything on there. Andy?
It says 11/3.
I don't know.
Trying to play with you.
Never mind.
All in favor? Aye. Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe.